Hi, I'm Lynn Maloney with the Orland Park Public Library. Thanks for joining me today for another craft. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do sun prints. So it's a nice spring day, we have some sun, so if it keeps up, we'll do the rest of the project outside because the paper that we're using is light sensitive, so you have to do part of the project outside. But for now, let's get started with the part we're going to do inside and get everything set up. Now here's a couple of finished sun prints I did a couple of days ago. And you can see that the items that you place on the paper turn out very differently if you use something that's really delicate, like leaves or flower stems. You're going to get a different look than if you're going to use something like just a shaped bead or a key. But have fun and try different things. Heavier items are going to cast more of a shadow, so you might get a little more dimensional output. And lighter items, they also cast a shadow, but they come out a little more ghostly. So it's a lot of fun just to try different things. So I'm going to set aside these finished pieces and we'll begin with the paper, the light sensitive paper. This paper comes in packets, and in your kit you're going to get several sheets, and it's kept in black paper just to keep it away from the light. Now working with it indoors or with just under incandescent light inside, it's okay. You're not gonna mess anything up, but you don't want to keep it exposed to sunlight for very long because that's what's going to activate it. So I'm just going to put this one away. And so here's my sheet. You can see there's a white side and a blue side. And then the next thing you're going to do is just start choosing items. I think because it's a sun print, it's fun to use naturals. So just different leaves and twigs. Here's a little flower. Now keep in mind that if you set this down, to your eyes, it looks like a nice pretty flower. But what you're going to get when the sun hits it, you're probably just going to get this shape. And it might be kind of a blobby shape. So think about what you're putting down. If you want this flower shape, pull the petals away from each other a bit and smash them down against the paper and pull the stem out a little bit. And I think you'll be happier with your results. So I'm going to move on to a different shape. I like this one right here. Has lots of nice little fringy bits on it, so we'll see how that turns out. I like this one. We'll put that right there. And just for fun, I'm going to throw in one of these more dimensional pieces. And I'm going to set it right here by the little clover. And then I'm going to put this nice little leaf right here. So you can take all the time you like arranging things. Now what I'm going to do, if you were to do this and just take this outside, wind's going to come along and just blow things away. So what I like to do is, you're working on this piece of cardboard or chipboard, you've got your paper and your items, and then on top, go ahead and put this piece of acetate, and this will be in your kit also. Just get everything down there as flat as possible. And then you're going to pick this whole thing up and you're going to take the whole thing outside to expose in the sun. And that's the next part. So I'll see you outside. Okay, so we're outside now, and I've brought out my paper with all the items on top of it. So the sunlight, it's in direct sunlight now, and the change is going to start happening really quickly. You'll see the paper turn from a blue to a very light blue to almost white. And I've set my alarm here for 2 minutes. So let it be exposed for 2 minutes. Then I'll take everything off of here and move it over into this basin of water over here. It looks like it's turning light very, very quickly. So I'm not going to leave it out any longer. I think it's been out long enough, so that was 1.5 minutes. So I'm going to take everything off, shake off all my items, and look at that. It's really interesting already. So I'm moving it over here into this basin of water that I put in the shade. I'm going to push it down into the water, and then another change is going to happen. The background of the paper is going to change back to a really dark blue, and the items that were on there are going to go white. You can push it down into the water just to make sure it gets nice and submerged. And then again, another 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes in the water. And you'll notice I've put the basin of water in the shade because I wanted to stop the light exposure on the paper. It's a great fun project to do when you have sunlight. So take advantage of the sunlight. Push my paper down a bit more. I hope you can see it on camera. The paper color is changing slowly. It's growing bluer, and then the items are going white. One of those projects that it's an easy project, but you have to be really mindful of the time and make sure you don't let things sit too long in the sun or too short of a time in the sun, and give them the proper amount of time they need to get exposed and then to sit in the water. It's interesting to look at how the different pieces of leaves and flowers have exposed. Some are just very faint and shadowy. Some you got a little bit clearer, defined shape. It's really quite beautiful. When these are finished, soaking in the water, I'm going to pull it out and set it back over here to dry flat. Drying flat is the best way for them to just sit and dry. They may curl up a little bit as they're drying, but once they're dry, you can press them in the pages of a heavy book or even iron them between two pieces of paper or between some parchment paper, just so you don't scorch things, and iron them out flat. Then you can use the papers for cards, paper crafts, or even frame them. Do a little series and put them in matching frames, and you have a little art installation. Well, my time's almost up. I'm going to stop my alarm. It's just about 2 minutes. So I'm going to pull the paper out. Put it back down over here on my flat surface. And just leave it to dry. I hope you can see that all right. So thanks again for joining me today, and have fun with your Sunprint craft. Try lots of different shapes of items. Use your naturals, but you can also use, like I said before, things that are rather flat and that aren't from nature, but you'll still get really nice, interesting shapes. So have fun experimenting and being creative. See you next time.